An absolutely insane story, guys, from yesterday does continue with the response from Ardis, a former CS and now Valorant professional player. At the point of me recording, he is set to join G2 Esports and their entrance to Valorant. As of yesterday, guys, they first announced Mixwell as their team captain, much like 100 Thieves announced Hiko as their team captain as well. But the rest of that G2 roster is expected sometime in the near future. Ardis could be one of those members. Now, we talked about accusations stemming from his past, as well as recently being accused of match fixing and cheating in both Counter-Strike Global Offensive as well as Valorant. He has now responded, refuted all of those claims, and I would say in one of the better posts and responses I have ever seen from any player out there. Just to showcase you guys how crazy this story is, he has now opened the doors for both Riot Games or Valve to pursue him fully in investigation and clear his name. I rarely have seen this, if ever, when it comes time for a player, and that's why, as of right now, I do believe his side of things, his main argument against these accusations being all of the evidence against him was only circumstantial, none of it actually proving that he ever match fixed or that he ever cheated in either title. He opens up by saying, firstly, I would like to clarify that I have never, nor will I ever, cheat or match fix in a game. The allegations that state I have attempted to procure a private cheat for Valorant are entirely false. I would like to explain the contents of the video which has been published today, as well as other information which I feel needs to be brought into light. Secondly, the evidence that has been given in this article and within the recordings does not provide any proof that I have match fixed, and in the clip they have provided, I expressed my concerns and doubts about the proposal they had given. And during the first part of this long twitlonger, guys, which I will link down below for all of you guys if you do want to give him a follow as well, he goes on to talk about a very severe circumstance where formerly in his Counter-Strike career, he had lost his salary, he had no job, a lot of bills piling up, and so he had actually considered, he had actually had the intent to potentially cheat alongside match fix in CS, being promised anywhere from $1,000 to £2,000 per match he did fix, and also to assemble a team of 5 players, that team being composed of 5 guys who would all be in on the job. He actually did take on those discussions. That the video was actually released about several people inside that team speak discussing the possibilities about cheating and match fixing, and of course, I'm going to understand where he's coming from. If you guys are longtime Counter-Strike fans or of esports, you know that back in the day, salaries weren't what they are now, and especially if you're not at the top tier, they still aren't that great for a lot of up-and-coming pro players to actually pay their bills and play full-time. It's just not possible for a lot of people out there. So for him to consider this kind of thing, I cannot judge him for, because we don't know his circumstances, the shoes that he was in, and as he has painted the picture, he was fairly desperate, so he did consider match fixing and cheating to pay the bills. So that same discussion shown on screen for all of you guys in that TeamSpeak actually does reveal him being involved in that discussion and conversation, and to why he actually rejected the offer in CSGO. That's why he stressed, why this proposal would not work, and that same offer was apparently proposed also in Valorant, which he too rejected. And next on, like I opened up, guys, he also opens himself up completely to Riot and Valve investigation, which I applaud him for. If you are innocent, this is exactly the move you should do. You open it up to the publisher, the developer, the gigantic company out there, and you say, hey, if you think I'm a cheater and a match fixer, do the investigation. I am innocent. I am open. He opened himself up completely for the investigation, and how can you not believe this guy after doing something like that? I applaud him for that, because I do take his side so far in this case. And then in the Valorant section of his twitlonger, he actually further states with him and his team, Fish123, seeing good results and success. If you guys not know, one of the better, if not the best performing team in Europe throughout that early release. He was actually well aware of that same team of coders and cheaters who had actually presented him past offers to cheat and match fix. They were known as Valolytics, being in the pro circuit in the European scene. That team was actually quickly caught by Riot's Vanguard system, but largely blamed Ardis for actually being found out. So then they threatened, and of course that's the article we are now seeing out there, to reveal the evidence around him and expose his past. How crazy of a story it is right now. We've already talked about match fixing stories in the past of these groups of people that, especially when it comes time for the Chinese scene, the threats being thrown around against these players to actually be forced to match fix. It's a very scary industry that we know very little of when it comes time for uncovering just the top stories out there. His story is very insane, and I do agree with Ardis as of right now, guys, to be completely innocent. He had the intent to match fix and cheat. He never did it though. So how are you going to go after the guy? He never officially broke the rules. Maybe he wanted to at some point in time, given his, dire circumstances of trying to pay the bills, but he never actually followed through with doing it. And so What do you guys think about that? A man forced into actually considering match fixing and cheating because of his circumstances, never actually did so, and the same group who actually offered him a job, now getting caught themselves, are trying to expose him for his past intents. What do you guys think about this? A crazy, crazy story. Again, his socials will be linked down below as we follow up with this one, guys, sometime today or maybe this week. If G2 keep on expanding their Valorant roster, I'll have a video on that sometime soon, because when it comes time for storylines of a Valorant roster, G2 has a good one in the works. Best of luck to Ardis and all these other pro players in their futures. We'll see what happens next. Until then, drink your water, drink your coffee. See you guys back here next time.